Welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm Sarah and this is yoga. So we are going to do a very gentle practice. So we're going to begin on our backs this evening. So come onto your back. And go ahead and just settle in to any comfortable pose on your back. So you can have your legs straight or bent. If your legs are bent, knees can be pointed up toward the ceiling. You can walk your feet out towards the edges of the mat, let the knees rest in against each other. If you want to open up the inner thighs and hips, you can bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the side. So we'll spend a few moments here to just breathe. And as we lie here before we begin our asana practice, just noticing our breath, gradually allowing the breath to lengthen and deepen. And noticing that as we do that, how the body starts to release tension. And so knowing, even when we're not in a yoga class, if we ever need to just kind of calm down, relax, de-stress, anywhere we are, we can always bring our attention to our breath. Allowing the exhales to be a little bit longer than the inhales. And just letting go. So let's all go ahead and bend the knees now and walk the feet out towards the edges of the mat so the knees rest in against each other. Moving the arms away from the body a little bit, and then we'll just begin with our windshield wipers. So taking knees from side to side. And just going back and forth at your own pace. We'll take one more on each side. And then when we're done, we'll bring the knees to center. Go ahead and walk your feet in so they are about hip width apart and parallel to each other. Maybe walking them in a little bit closer to the bottom, and now taking arms all the way out to a T position. And then we'll take both knees over to the right for a lying spinal twist. So trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. You can turn the head to look down your left arm. Bringing the knees and the head back up to center. Dropping the knees over to the left, and now maybe turning the head to look down that right arm. And we'll start to move with our breath. Inhale the knees up to center. Exhale them to the right. Inhale them back to center. And then exhale them over to the left. So just continuing to move with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. You can leave your feet on the mat or pick the feet up off the mat. Bring the knees a little closer to the chest. Taking one more on each side. And then we'll come back to center, hugging the knees into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze. Holding on to that right knee, let's extend the left leg out long. Leaving the heel hovering off the mat or resting it on the mat. Leaving your head and shoulders down or picking them up and bringing the forehead a little closer to that right knee. On your next inhale, we'll extend the right leg out long. Exhale, bring your left knee in. So moving again with your breath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug the knee in. Let's take a few more. And the next time we have that right knee hugged in, pause there, release the heel and the back of the head to the mat. Taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, take your right knee across the body over to left, extending that right arm out to a T, maybe also looking down that right arm. And we'll release, come back to center. Extending that right leg out long, bring your left knee in, give it a squeeze. Taking that right hand to the outside of the left knee, take your left knee across to the right, extending that left arm out to a T, maybe turning the head to look down that left arm. And we'll release, hugging the knees into the chest. And then we'll release the feet to the mat. Walking the feet in towards the bottom a little bit, making sure feet are hip width apart and parallel. Hands come down next to the hips, palms down. On your next inhale, lift the hips up toward the ceiling to a bridge. And then exhale, release it back down. So moving again with your breath, inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Taking a couple more, inhaling and exhaling. One more, and then we'll add some arms to this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. So next time we lift the hips, if you like, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, release everything back down. So flowing again with the breath. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, release. Taking a couple more here. And last one. And when we're done, we'll hug the knees into the chest. Taking some rocks from side to side. Placing hands on top of knees and circling those knees around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, rolling on to one side and resting the head on the arm. Take a few deep breaths here. And then using the arms to press your way up to a seat. Coming to any comfortable seat you choose. So you might want to sit cross-legged, or you can extend your legs out in front of you. You can sit on a blanket if you have one. We'll go ahead and sit up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. And then we'll drop the chin down into the chest, stretching the back of the neck, letting the head hang heavy. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. Try to keep both shoulders down. Releasing the chin back to the chest. And then we'll take the left ear towards the left shoulder. And we'll start to move with the breath, exhaling chin to chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. So take a few more at your own breath's pace. Taking one more to each side. And we'll come back to center. Lifting the chin so it's level with the floor, keeping shoulders and torso still, turning the head to look over your right shoulder. Releasing through center and looking over the left. Moving with the breath. Inhale through center, exhale, alternate from side to side. Keeping shoulders and torso still, just moving the head. Holding on one side for an extra breath or two, dropping the chin down towards that shoulder that you're looking over. And then lifting the chin, coming back through center, looking over the other shoulder, and again drop that chin. Lifting the chin back up, coming to center, bringing the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release, taking some shoulder circles first to the front. Nice big circles here. Take a couple more to the front. And then we'll circle them around to the back. And let's take one more. Placing hands on knees, and we'll start to circle the torso around in the hips. Inhaling as we bring the chest to the front, exhaling as we round the spine to the back. Moving again with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Making these circles whatever size they need to be. Let's take one more in this direction. And then we'll circle around the other way. Again, inhaling to the front. Exhaling to the back. Move with your breath. Let's take one more. Coming back to center, moving into a breathing twist, inhaling, reaching both arms up. Exhaling, gently twisting to one side, placing one hand in front and one behind, and inhale it back up. Exhaling, twisting to the other side, moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling as we reach, exhaling as we gently twist. You can look over your back shoulder as you twist, or just look to the side, depending on how the neck feels today. And let's hold on one side for an extra few breaths. If you like, you can take that front hand to the opposite knee and press gently into the knee, going a little bit deeper into that twist. And we'll release, inhaling both arms up. Exhaling, twisting to the other side. Again, front hand to opposite knee, press into the knee. Go a little bit deeper into that twist if you like. And release, inhaling the arms up. And exhaling the hands to heart center. And just taking a few moments here to maybe do a quick body scan, see how you're feeling today. Remembering that as we move through the practice today, that this is your practice. So modify or skip anything that you need to. Letting go of judgment, expectations, competition, and staying in the present moment. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Holding on to the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, hinging it forward at the hips. Maybe lightly pressing elbows into the knees. Keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. And then we'll release that fold, sliding the feet out double the distance away from us for star pose. So making sort of a diamond shape with our legs, again, holding onto our ankles or shins. Inhaling, extending the spine up. Exhaling as we fold. Elbows point out to the sides. So that if you were to look at this pose from the ceiling, if you look down on your body would sort of look like a six-pointed star. Toes, elbows, and knees. And then nobody's bottom is really pointed, but that would be the sixth point. And we'll go ahead and release. And then we'll extend the legs out long. Coming into staff pose, Dandasana. Flexing the feet, pointing the toes up toward the ceiling. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. And then we'll inhale, come right back up. Exhale, the hands come down behind the hips. Fingertips point towards the bottom. On your next inhale, you can either just press your hands into the mat and open the heart looking up. If you want, you could also lift your hips up and come to a reverse plank. And then we'll release. So we'll flow like that a few more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, lift the heart. Maybe the hips rise as well. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe the hips too. Exhale, release. Once more, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it forward, hinging from the hips. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands come down behind the hips. Inhale, press into the mat, lift the heart, maybe the hips rise as well. Exhale, release. Let's make our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees under our hips, Fingers spread wide, patting those knees as needed. If you're not on carpet, you can use a blanket or a towel. Inhaling, we'll dip the belly down, looking up into cow. Exhaling, arching the spine, tucking the chin and the pelvis under into cat. So flowing again with the breath. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling into cat. Take a few more. If you're ever kind of wondering, am I supposed to be inhaling or exhaling? First of all, the most important thing to remember is just breathe. So even if you're not doing it right, quote unquote, as long as you're breathing, you're doing it right. And then a general rule is if you're kind of expanding and opening the chest area, you'll be inhaling. And then as you're kind of contracting that front area, you'll exhale. So that's why in cow, when we're opening the heart, we're inhaling. And then in cat, when we're kind of closing that area, we're exhaling. But just keep breathing. Let's take one more in each direction. And then we'll come to a neutral tabletop. Spine is flat. We're going to inhale, take the left arm out to the side and bring it up. Twist. Exhale, thread the needle. Reach that left arm between your right hand and knee, and then bring the left ear down to the mat. You could also bring in a block if you need a little bit more height there. Right hand stays by the face, or you can extend the arm, either reaching towards the front of the mat. You could reach that arm up toward the ceiling. You could bring the arm behind the back and reach for your left hip. So whatever arm position works best for you and your shoulders today. The left arm should be relaxed, so the fingers will just kind of curl naturally. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then we'll bring that right hand back in by the face. Leave your left arm where it is, just pick the head up. Slide that right arm across the body for modified knot. Bring the forehead down to the mat. And then press the backs of the hands into the floor like you're trying to straighten them out. Opening up the upper back. And we'll release. Coming back to all fours, and then we'll do the other side. So right arm reaches out and up. And thread the needle, reach it through. Take the right ear to the mat. Again, left hand can stay by the face, or you can extend that arm, either reaching to the front, reaching towards the ceiling, or reaching for the right hip. Taking that left arm to the place that feels best for you and your shoulders on this side. So it might not be the same that you had on the first side. It might be different from one side to the other, and that's fine. Breathing here. And then we'll bring that left hand back in. Leave your right arm where it is, pick the head up, take that left arm across, bring the forehead to the mat, and then press into the floor. Open up the shoulder blades. And we'll release. Coming back to all fours, and then we'll sit back into a child's pose. So any version of child's pose you like, you can extend the arms out towards the front of the mat, or stack hands or fists and rest the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Knees can stay together, you can separate them. And from here, we'll come into a more active extended child's pose. So reaching the arms out towards the front of the mat, lifting the elbows and the forehead off of the mat so that our ears are right in between the arms. Inhaling, we'll come forward into a kneeling plank. Shoulders come over the wrists. Drop the hips down so they're right in line with the rest of the body. Feel your core engage. And then pressing back into that child's pose. So moving with your breath. Inhaling forward, Exhale, press back. Couple more. Inhale forward. Exhale, press back. One more, and then we'll add on. Inhale forward. Exhale, press back. So we're going to add on to the flow. Inhale forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, lower, part way down, modified crocodile. Elbows stay in tight to the body. Inhale, press back up, kneeling plank. Exhale, sit it back, child's pose. So let's do that flow a few more times. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, sit it back. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, sit back. One more, and then we'll add on again. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, take it back. So adding on to that flow. Inhale forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, this time we're going to lower all the way down, but lower with control. Don't go flopping down on the belly. Inhale, lift the heart, baby cobra. Exhale, press it back. Child's pose. So let's do that a few more times. Inhale forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, press it back. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower all the way. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, press it back. And one more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower all the way. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, press it back. And let's rest in this child's pose. So again, any version of pose that you like. And staying here in your child's pose a while longer if you want to, or if you're ready, make your way into downward dog, planting the hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, come forward through that kneeling plank, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, come into that Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, making any movements that you want in this first downward dog. You do not have to move this pose if you prefer to be still. You could pedal out your feet or shake your head out or take one leg into three-legged dog at a time. All options. Everything's an option today. And then if you are moving your downward dog, once you're done, just kind of settling into the pose for a couple of breaths. Tucking the chin and looking back between the legs. Think about distributing the weight away from your wrists. So pressing out through the fingers. And then we'll look up at the hands and just walk the feet up to the hands. Coming into forward fold. Feet are still hip width apart. Go ahead and soften the knees. Grab opposite elbows. Let your upper body hang. Especially the head. So feel like your head is just like a weight at the end of a string, like a pendulum. And then we're going to shake the head out from side to side. Take it front to back. And then we'll sway the whole torso from side to side. There should be no tension in the head and the neck. Let's come back to center, releasing elbows, placing hands on shins or thighs. Extend the spine and look forward. Take a couple deep breaths here. On your next exhale, fold. Soften the inhale, reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Exhale the hands to the heart. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Exhaling, we're going to open the arms and look up, coming into a standing back bend. And inhale, reach the arms back up. Swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Exhale into that standing back bend. Open the arms, open the heart, look up. And inhale it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Soft knees as you fold. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend. Open the heart, open the arms. And inhale it up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the arms. Inhale it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. We're going to add onto our flow. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, open the arms, standing back bend. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale, have a seat into chair. Sink the hips back and down, Utkatasana. And inhale it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the arms, open the heart. Inhale up. Exhale into chair, sink the hips. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold all the way down with soft knees. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the arms. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, sink the hips into chair. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, reverse, come all the way back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the arms, open the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, sink the hips into your chair. Let's hold this chair. Now, if your arms are a little bit tired, go ahead and rest them on your thighs, or you can bring the hands to the heart. Weight is in the heels, spine is neutral, chest is lifted. So imagine like you really are sitting in a chair. So if you're down here with your chest kind of facing the floor, that's not how you sit in a chair, or I don't think you do. So we want to sit up, but have our weight back in our heels. And release, inhale it up. Exhale the hands to the heart. And take a few deep breaths here. We'll take a nice big step out to the side for our moonflowers and sunflowers. So toes turn out about 45 degrees. Nice wide stance. Inhale, reach to the corners of the room. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the elbows into the sides, and inhale, reach it up and out. Exhaling as we bend. Couple more, inhale, and exhale. And one more. And exhale, transition to your sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold, and inhale brings us back up. Exhaling as we fold. Couple more, inhale, and exhale. And last one. Exhale down, inhale, come back up. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, come into a prayer squat. So again, just like in our chair, we don't want to be leaning forward. We want our chest lifted, knees and toes pointing in the same direction. And release, let's inhale it up. Stepping the feet together, and we'll come to the top of the mat. Taking a few deep breaths here. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. We'll step the right foot back, turning that foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping the left knee bent, walking our way up that left leg. For Virabhadrasana Echo, Warrior One. So if you like, you can use your right hand to gently press your right hip a little bit more forward. And then whatever arms you like for your Warrior One, go ahead and take your arm position, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Bringing the arms behind the back for Humble Warrior. Clasping the hands together, let's inhale as we lengthen the spine, opening the heart. Exhaling as we fold over the left leg. So stopping this wherever you need to. So maybe you need to stop here at kind of a 45-degree angle. Maybe you want to rest your chest on your left thigh. Maybe you want to slide the chest to the right of the thigh. Go a little deeper than that. Bring the hands away from the back and lifting the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the chin, look back at your right foot. Keep squaring the hips to the front. And we'll release, coming back up into Warrior One. And then we're going to move into Warrior Three. So we're going to bring the arms out to the front, shifting the weight onto the left leg, take that right leg up and come into your Warrior One. Now, if you're feeling extra wobbly today, I happen to have a windowsill right here at a handy spot. If you don't have a windowsill or a wall in front of you, you could bring your hands down to the floor or a block if you have one handy. If your balance is pretty good today, you can keep your arms out to the front, reach them out into airplane wings or bring them back by your hips or even to the heart. I always like the airplane wings. Right leg is really active, left knee is a little bit soft, dropping that right hip down so it's level with the left. And then we'll land that foot back down, coming back to Warrior One. And then we'll release hands to hips, straightening out the left leg, maybe stepping our right foot up a little bit closer, shortening the stance. We're going to move into pyramid. Let's inhale, extend the spine and look up. Exhaling as we fold over the left leg. So resting your hands on your thigh, your shin. Please do not place them on your knee joint. You could bring in the blocks or release the hands to the mat as long as you're not bending the knees just to get the hands down. Taking our right hand to the right hip. Let's slide this right hip a little bit more forward and down. And then we'll release that hand down, sink a little deeper into your pyramid. And we'll release, bending the left knee so we can get our hands to the mat. Let's step the right foot up to the front. And now we'll step our left foot back, turning that foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping your right knee bent. Walk your way up that right leg. Warrior One on the other side. Hands come to the hips. And this time, if you want, take your left hand and gently guide your left hip forward. And then whatever arms you like for your warrior on this side, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Let's bring the arms behind the back for Humble Warrior. Clasping hands together, inhaling as we open the heart, looking up. Exhaling as we fold over the right leg, stopping wherever you need to. Take your time getting into this pose. Again, think about creating space for the neck by lifting the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe looking back at that left foot. And we'll release, coming back up into warrior one. Moving into warrior three, bring the arms out to the front. Shifting the weight onto that right leg, or you can step your feet together and then lift the left leg off. Fly into warrior three. Again, rest the hands on the wall, on the floor, on a block, or challenge your balance by not holding on. Left leg is active, right knee is soft, dropping that left hip down so it's level with the right. And then we'll land that foot back down into warrior one. Releasing hands to hips. Straightening out the right leg, maybe stepping the left foot up a little closer. Inhale, lengthen the spine, looking up. Exhaling as we fold. Hands are resting on thighs or shin, a block or the mat. Legs are straight without locking out or hyperextending the knees. Left hand comes to the left hip, we'll slide that left hip forward and down. Level out that low back. And then release the left hand down, sink a little deeper into your fold. And then we'll bend the right knee so we can get the both hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back and we'll come into downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, come forward into a plank. Inhale, lift into that three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward and bring the knee to the right elbow. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that right knee across the body to the left elbow. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right knee to your right wrist. Coming into pigeon. Releasing the leg. Settling into pigeon. Now, if this bothers your knee, please take a figure four stretch on your back, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh, and reaching it through and holding on to the left leg. If you're staying in pigeon, keeping hips level, maybe propping something underneath the right hip, and then when you're ready, you can fold, resting head on your hands, the block or the mat. And we'll release, making our way back into downward facing dog. So if we're in pigeon, we'll come up and tuck the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. If you're on your back, just roll yourself on over and make your way into downward dog. From downward dog, the left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward, bring the knee towards the nose. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that left knee to the left elbow. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee across to the right elbow. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee to the left wrist. Releasing the legs down, coming into Kapotasana, pigeon. Again, make any adjustments you need to. Take the figure 4 on your back. If you're in pigeon, folding when you're ready. Resting the head on the hands, a block or the mat. And we'll release coming up. Making our way into a seated staff position. So rolling onto your left hip and bringing that right leg around to the front. If you're on your back, just make your way up to seat. And we'll meet in Dandasana, staff pose, extending the legs out long. You can move some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones, or you can grab a blanket and sit on the edge of your blanket. If you have a strap, you might want to have that handy within arm's reach. If you think you might want it for your seated forward fold. So flexing the feet, pointing the toes up toward the ceiling. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. So reaching for those feet, or the ankles, or your shins, or your thighs, or using that strap to extend your reach and pulling on the ends so that we can keep our spine in a fairly neutral position, focusing our stretch on the hamstrings and not on the back. Using our sinking breath, so inhale, extend the spine a little bit more, exhale, deepen the fold. Continue using your breath to deepen your pose. And we'll release the fold. If you're using a strap today, you can leave the strap wrapped around the bottom of your left foot and just take your right foot out. We're going to bend the right knee and let that knee open out to the right side for Janu Shirshasana. You can prop underneath the knee if you like. Placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale as we fold. Reaching for your foot strap anywhere along the leg. You can take a cross grip with your hands if you want to. And we'll release coming up. Bringing that right knee up, we'll step that foot up and over to the outside of the left thigh. You can leave your left leg straight or bend it underneath you and sit back down. We'll hug the knee with the left arm, taking the right arm behind us for a twist. So staying here, hugging the knee, especially if you're looking to really stretch out the outside of that hip and that sciatic area. If you want a little bit more sensation in the spine, you can bring your elbow past the knee and use the elbow to kind of press into the knee, go a little deeper into that twist. You could also bind this pose if you wanted to by reaching your left arm between the legs, coming behind the back with the right, and reaching for your shirt, strap, or your fingers. And then we'll release. So if you don't already have that lower leg bent underneath you, go ahead and lean over to your left and then bend that knee underneath you to the right. We're going to come into cow's face pose. So we want to try and stack our knees on top of each other and kind of lay that top knee down on top of the bottom knee. Now, if this is really too much for you, you can lie down and do this pose on your back, and you just grab onto your feet and pull them in towards you. If you're staying upright, we're just going to hold those feet also and then fold. So on the back, we would be pulling the legs down towards us. In a seat, we're letting gravity bring the upper body down. And then we'll release that fold. Let's go ahead and uncross the legs and extend the right leg out, bending the left knee and letting that knee fall open to the side. Again, you can prop underneath the knee. You can set up a strap around the bottom of your right foot if you want. Placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as we fold, reaching for the foot, the strap. Anywhere along the leg, you could take a cross grip with your hands if you want to. And we'll release that. Coming up, bringing the left knee up, and we'll step that foot up and over. You can leave your right leg straight or bend it underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the right arm, bringing the left arm behind us for our twist. Again, you could stay here hugging your knee, especially if you want to stretch out the outer hip. If you'd like to bring the elbow past the knee or take the bind, that's also an option. And we'll release. So again, coming into Gomukhasana, cow's face pose. So if you don't already have that lower leg bent underneath you, go ahead and lean over to your right and bend that right leg underneath you to the left. And then sit back up. And then we'll use our hands to get our knees to stack on top of each other. Again, if you want to roll onto your back and just pull on your ankles and bring them in towards you, you can do that version as well. If you're staying upright, you're also going to hold the feet and then fold. And we'll release. Let's go ahead and make our way down onto the back. Holding on to the knees. Let's come down one vertebra at a time. Tucking the chin into the chest, hugging the knees in once we're down, taking those little rocks from side to side. And circling those knees first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, hugging the right knee in. Release your left leg down. Give the right knee a nice squeeze. And then we'll reach that right leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling that foot first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. And then grabbing anywhere along the leg or using your strap again, pulling that right leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. You can leave your left leg bent or you can straighten that leg out. And then we'll extend that right leg out towards the right side, keeping the right side anchored to the mat. You can do that by placing your left hand onto your hip. You can also activate the muscles in that left leg. And then we'll take that right leg up and across the body over to the left, extending the right arm out to a T position, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe also turning the head to look down that right arm. And then we'll release and bring that right leg back up. Bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, making a figure four with your legs. Reaching your right arm between the legs and then pulling on the left leg so you can grab onto the back of the thigh. You can take the front of the shin, lining up your left knee with your left shoulder. And then we'll release the right foot, hug the left knee in, give it a squeeze. Extend that left leg up, point and flex the foot a few times. And circle that foot first in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that left leg in for a hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. And then extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side anchored to the mat. Taking that left leg up and across the body over to the right, extending that left arm out to a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe also turning the head to look down that left arm. And we'll release. Bring that left leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, reaching it through with the left arm, pulling on the right leg, either on the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Try to line that right knee up with the right shoulder. And release, hugging the knees into the chest, extending arms out to a T position, palms up or down. Either dropping both knees to the right, or if you like, you can cross your left leg over your right thigh first, and then take the knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. So if you cross the legs one way, uncross them and then recross them the other way. We'll all take the knees to the left. Maybe look down your right arm. And we'll release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to meet the knees, squeeze everything in nice and tight. And releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, final relaxation. So if you want to put any layers on, grab a sweatshirt, grab a blanket, make yourself comfortable. Grab your eye pillow if you have one. And then once you're all properly attired, settle into whatever comfortable position you would like to take for your meditation today. I'm going to read a little guided visualization to give your brain something to focus on other than whatever else might be running through it at this time. As you relax now and listen to my voice, think about melting into the most comfortable bed. As your body lets go and goes limp, allow the feeling of weightlessness to take over. Close your eyes and feel yourself floating, weightless and free. Imagine yourself resting outside under a clear blue sky. And as you look up, you see a bird. Seemingly motionless and buoyant, the bird floats along the gentle currents of the wind, moving effortlessly forward. As it moves, you move in harmony with the bird towards a state of serene relaxation. Imagine yourself rising and soaring away from your tension and frustration, motionless and buoyant on your own currents of relaxation. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists, and reaching arms up overhead to stretch and release. And either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. And when you're ready, making your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release. Taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.